video games, did you ever think they could be therapeutic? I mean, the FDA says, oh, you'll be able to write a prescription for a video game. The world has really changed. So believe it or not, the FDA said you could write a prescription for Endeavor RX, a new video game, and you can get to play video games, and you really, you have a prescription for it. So this is really amazing that the FDA gave approval for video games. So what is that all about? Well, you know, it's a whole new science of neuropsychiatry, neuropsychology, really for people with a disorder that we never really would think that this would help so much. So basically what's happening is it's like medicine for entertainment. So what's going on with kids is that we really have like a dopamine response here. So, you know, I have parents, they tell me, my kid can't have ADD. He can do his video game for 10 hours in a row because he loves his video games. And it's secreting dopamine. And then he doesn't sleep and he's restless because he can't wait to play the next video game. So there's a lot to be said. So you could get kids engaged in something that could be therapeutic, it is therapeutic, and the kids grow from it. The way it works is that video games improve cognitive function. So what does that mean? It improves executive functions. So those are the parts of the brain that are in the frontal lobe area that have to do with our planning, organization, judgment. It runs a lot of our cognitive functions. So basically what we're doing is we're reprogramming individuals and enabling them to have improved executive functions by using the avenue of a video game, which is what kids and adults with ADD are very attracted to. The idea lately of video games is that it really improves people's social abilities too, because the kids are playing games with other kids. They're getting much more involved in relationships. And they can help improve these executive functions, meaning kids will be more attentive, they'll plan better. It's good for kids who don't even have ADHD and adults to improve their cognitive functions and their executive functions that we've been talking about. So to be able to do that helps children and adults grow enormously. I've seen adults with improved cognition and executive functions go on to do much better jobs. I've seen children and adults do much better with relationships. They listen, they're much more attentive, their self-esteem improves, and yeah, they become the captain of their own ship. So it's really the key to brain health is through executive functioning, improved. Now, what are the negatives or the cons of video games? Well, by secreting dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter, these are the neurotransmitters involved in sexual behavior, gambling, drugs. So there's that part of it. People get overstimulated when they're doing video games, when their dopamine is being stimulated. So what the downside is, we could get like people and adults and children who are overly stimulated, through dopamine. So what could happen is then it could lead to other problems. So really the solution here is for kids, it needs to be monitored. Even in the new game, it's only allowed an hour a day for 5 days. And adults need to curb their own intake of video games. So used in proper dosages, it's therapeutic. But if it's going to be misused, then we're going to have a lot of difficulty in terms of people not doing anything but video games, which I've seen in my practice. So in conclusion, really the idea of any therapeutic tool is that people have to be vigilant and mindful about how to use it. Parents in my practice are instructed to help their kid to use the right amount of video games and the right amount of time associated with their friends on video games. And adults need to be mindful in the same way. But if used effectively, there are tools even out there today. It's been around in neuroscience for a while, using cognitive testing and so forth to improve cognitive function, executive functions. So the rule here is moderation.
BregmanMD Medical Group offers online psychiatry and online therapy.